Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to, once again, another live stream. This is just the stream having a quick update. Hope everyone is going to be having an amazing time here in the comms box today. My name is Phoebe Thomas, and I will be your commentator here in Division 2 for Divine Eye Racing tonight. Today, we will be racing around Bahrain, around the Bahrain International Circuit, of course, in Bahrain. We've got a new overlay, so hopefully you guys are happy with that. As you can see, it's the actual F1 overlay. You can find all our links on the left bottom of your screen. And then we are ready to go. We have got quite a few drivers who are new to the league here in Division 2. Super Papa being one of them, currently in the Mercedes. And hopefully he's going to be having a good time here in Divine Eye Racing, entering his first lap on the Bahrain circuit. Let's go on board real quick with the Mercedes driver as he's entering turn 8 at the moment. A fast, a slow right-hander in a matter of fact, then going into that fast left-hander. And another fast left-hander being turn 10, of course, here around Bahrain. Coming up down the DRS straight. He's already around a 50-second mark, entering a sector 2 or 3 if I'm not mistaken. And then we've got turn 11, a long left-hander, beautiful corner taken, well, curb taken on the exit of the corner there. And then we have got a Super Sean entering sector 3 at the moment. Doesn't seem like he's struggling too much. It seems like Redoubts is the first one to put in time on the table. Talk coming across the line to put a 129.9. As it seems like Ziad has the fastest first sector at the moment. He's still on a fast lap, so we might be seeing Ziad on pole position at the moment. And Super Sean seems to have put the fastest third sector with a 22.1 second. Ziad still having that fastest first sector, so we might want to go on board with Ziad. Let me just double check where he is. It's always a little bit looking. Here we go. We have got the Mercedes driver currently coming around the last corner, turn 14, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, indeed, it is turn 14. Here comes the Mercedes driver, having a good exit out of that corner. Ziad will put himself on pole with a 127.9. He's got the fastest sector in all 3 of the sectors. So that means he's definitely going to be able to compete for that pole position here tonight. But we've got a crazy looking drivers championship at the moment with 3 drivers within 2 points of each other. And we have got Richie. Then we also have Jay Dennis and Ziad, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just gonna double check on my phone here real quick with you guys. So the driver standings is indeed Olawa Richie, Jay Dennis, and Bobo is in P3. Bobo currently in P3 as well during this qualifying session. It seems like he had put 128.8, still has 9 more tenths to improve to be able to grab that pole position. As you can see on the right side of your screen, Ziad dominating here around Bahrain, might possibly have the best setup for this track. It's a very high downforce track with not too many corners, only 14 corners here around Bahrain. Appreciate that, guys, appreciate that. Let me just double check here. Jabiza is a Division 1 driver, matter of fact. He's not able to put himself in the top 3, so does that mean that the top 3 is worthy of being in Division 1? That's for you to determine, of course. And let's go all the way at the back to not Joe 1U, because he is not. Oh, and we have got someone who doesn't have it enabled, the Ferrari driver. So what does that mean? I have no idea, actually. The tin numbers too. Yeah, the tin numbers is way better. I think, you know, it used to be that live timing which takes up half of the screen, and it's just so annoying. So this is way better, obviously. King Papa currently in P13, hasn't set a time yet, but I think he's up on one right now, although it doesn't seem like it's counting his time yet. Does that mean he's on an outlap? Probably is. Redoubts in P12. He did had a faster sector 3. Still nowhere close to Ziad. Let's have a quick look how his Sector 1 compares with Ziad's time. Ooh, he's about championship, of course. Currently in P15 with a total points of 11. He had 6 points in Spain in round 1, and he had 5 points in Austria in round 2, which was last week. It appears like Olawurichi has left the session, and what does that mean? It seems like I have left the lobby. Not sure what has happened here. I think I just left, to be honest. Yep, I probably left. Nice. So this isn't the issue that I had before. It's another issue, which is not something that I anticipated on. Let me just double check, guys. I'll be right back. We are back at it again, guys. My apologies. Oh, it has to, yeah, to do this again. Great. There we go. It seems like there was, well, were yellow flags. Right now, there doesn't seem to be an issue. Ziad's still on pole position. We haven't missed too many things. As the Fine Eye currently in P12, should be up there with the top guys most of the times, but at the moment doesn't seem to be able to put himself anywhere near the top 10. Is improving by a little bit of 130.7. But that will not be enough to gain a position. Let's go all the way at the back of the grid here. Kev the Slice, one of the faster guys in Divine Eye Racing. Obviously in Division 2, I must say. It's going to enter Sector 2. Sector 2 being one of the more technical corners here in Bahrain. Well, sectors is what I should say, not corners. Because you've got that left-hander coming right up, turn 5, 6, 7. And then turn 8 being a hard braking zone to your right. Which is obviously somewhere where, well, coming out of turn 7, usually a couple of guys crash out. So that is going to cause a possible safety car. But it shouldn't be too much of an issue here for these guys, these experienced guys. Not many people haven't been racing here in Divine Eye Racing. I think only a couple. I'm just going to double check who the drivers actually are. Because we cannot see too much with the overlays on the left side. I'm just going to double check. So the Red Bull team is Kodoy and Mohamed. And we've got the Mercedes drivers being Ziad and Super Sean. Ferrari is Olawurichi and Ramon Tabasco. And I think that must be Olawurichi who doesn't have the setting enabled. So that will be, not sure, a penalty maybe. Who knows? Smooth Operator and DJ Lawson in the McLaren. As I think it will be DJ Lawson indeed. But Jabiza filling in for Smooth Operator there. Then we've got Ishii and De Barto for both drivers being the Aston Martin. Alpine is represented by Jay Dennis and El Shakel. El Shakel, who isn't in the league anymore, so he has been replaced by typical Jimmy. We've got Bobo and Expedito in the Williams team. King Papa and Martino 69 in the Racing Bulls. But I think that is not going to be the actual attendance for today. King Papa is in the Red Bull, well, the Visa Cash App is what I should say. And Thomas Talk being the second driver in Visa Cash App. Haas, of course, represented by Redarts and Brass Monkeys, currently all the way at the bottom of the grid, being MP15 and 16. And I think then we have covered all the teams, haven't we? I think we do. The Bartofor still having to put a time on the board, but it seems like someone has beaten Ziad's third sector time, and that is Jay Dennis, the one and only. Jay Dennis, who did not perform very well in Sector 1 and Sector 2, as it seems, as he lost quite a few tenths compared to Ziad. Talk now on a fast lap. He currently has put the fastest first sector with a 28.3 seconds. And will he be able to compete with Ziad in that top position? 5 more minutes to go here in this qualifying session. And it will be the Bartofor entering turn 9 and 10 at the moment. Hard braking zone, a very difficult corner to make. I would say one of the most difficult corners here around Bahrain, is you don't really know where the braking zone is. Sometimes it's a little bit earlier than you would expect, and then you end up in the on the curb at the exit, of course, which is quite unfortunate if you think about it. So here comes the Bartofor entering Sector 3 at the moment. Sector 3 not having too many corners, so the guys shouldn't be experiencing too many troubles there. Jay Dennis still having that fastest Sector 3. Where did Talk actually put himself? Thomas is what I should say. P13. It seems like he's in the pits at the moment. Here comes the Bartofor coming across the line to put himself in P13. And that will be a 129.4. Not great by the Bartofor, but a little bit of time left here in this qualifying, so he still might be able to make it work. Let us go on to Super Sean, who is not on a fast lap. He's just warming up his tires at the moment. Soft tires for the Mercedes driver. And hopefully he's going to make something work. Guys, it's been a long time since I've commentated, and I'm kind of lost in what to say. I think that is something that I need to build back up, trying to find the right phrases. So obviously this isn't it, but I guess it is what it is. Both McLaren drivers currently in P8 and P9, not bad at all. DJ Lawson and Jabiza. But Ziad's still strong in P1. He's got a 4-10 lead on a Kodai, being the Red Bull driver. And Kev the Slice managed to improve by quite a bit, currently in P3. Typical Jimmy in P4 for that Alpine team, as he's replacing Al Shakel, who most of you guys know from previous races, of course. Let me just double check on the guys who are on. Oh wait, Olawarichi has the setting enabled. There we go, Olawarichi, he heard it. He heard that he didn't enable it, and then he enabled it again. Thank you very much, Olawu. He comes across the line and he's gonna start his fastest lap. Will he be able to put it on pole? I think he should be one of the contenders to put it on pole, if I'm being honest. Olawarichi being the driver's champion, well, the provisional driver's champion, of course. There's only 2 races that have been driven, so it's very hard to say whether he's going to be the driver's champion at the end of the season, of course, as there's still many races to come. 2 more minutes to go in this qualifying session, as it will be. Oh, Richie almost losing the car coming out of turn 7 right there. And as I said, a very tricky corner to nail. He had a faster Sector 1 than his previous time, so he wasn't going to be able to compete with Ziad there, I'm afraid, but still. Lots of green flags on the track at the moment. 1 more minute to go in the qualifying session. And one driver hasn't set a time yet. That will be Expedito, but from my understanding, he has a qualifying ban. So he will be starting all the way in P19. Let me go on board with Talk, who has the fastest first sector, and he improves by even more here in Sector 1. Currently coming into Sector 2. And the time to beat after Sector 2 is 1:06.2, which is Zier's time. And it seems like Kodai didn't improve yet. Ziad actually retired from the session already, so he thinks he's going to be on pole position, or he wasn't going to be able to make it out on track anymore. Here comes Tuck into turn 11. Very tricky corner. Also turn 12, a very tricky corner, because you don't want to touch that curb down the inside there, because you're definitely going to lose the car, I'm afraid. Here comes the Dutch driver. Has a little bit of slipstream from the guy ahead of him, which is the Mercedes driver, either being Ziad. No, it couldn't be Ziad. It's Super Sean. Here comes Talk. Fast first sector, fast second sector, and it will be P11 only for the Dutch driver. Not a great time, I'm afraid, but he's going to be able to improve a little bit more. King Papa improves. Also, Dennis improves as he puts himself in P6. But I'm afraid those guys aren't going to be able to put themselves anywhere near Ziad anymore. Let me just double check with the Red Bull driver here. Who is that Red Bull driver? It is the Egyptian King. Could that be? I think that could be indeed the Egyptian King. Mohammed. Yes, indeed. Or as we say in Belgium, mootje voor de vrienden. Many drivers have come across the line. Talk isn't going to be able to improve. Let's go on board with Ishi, usually one of the faster drivers here in Divine Eye Racing. As he does improve on his own time, doesn't seem like he has any fastest sector. Kodai seems to have a good time there. 28.3 in sector 1. And he's still on a fast one. Will it be Kodai on pole position? Let's go on board with the Red Bull driver. It will be Kodai coming around the last corner. Will it be enough for the Red Bull driver? He needs a couple of more tenths to be able to compete with Ziad. It's Mercedes versus Red Bull. It's Max Verstappen versus Lewis Hamilton. Will it be Kodai? It won't be Kodai, I'm afraid. Does not improve on his time. 5/10 slower than Ziad's time. And I guess that will be your qualifying session. Kevin still trying to come across the line, and he does indeed. Usually a lot of guys just come into the pits there. And that will be your qualifying session here in Divine Eye Racing. First qualifying session that I have participated in. Well, commentated on. So hopefully many more to come. And please let me know what you think of this qualifying, and also let me know who you think is going to be the race winner. From my understanding, Ziad has been looking very powerful over the last, one race, because he didn't participate last race. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he won the first race in Spain with a total of 32 points. So that makes him a very strong contender for that Drivers' Championship. As today, he's there once again in Bahrain. We had a good result from Bobo and Jay Dennis last week. Also, Olawa Richie not doing a bad job there. The 32 points was because that Spain, which I was talking about, was a sprint race and a race. So I think he won both the sprints and the race itself. Plus the fastest lap on top of it. Not bad at all for Ziad. Apparently, according to the guys in the chat, Ziad will win this Grand Prix if he starts on the medium tires. And that is something that I want to talk to you guys about. What strategy are we looking into? These will be your results. Apologies for all the things that are there on the screen. I still have to figure out how to get that removed when I'm showing something on the screen. But I mean, it's the same basically. So Ziad in P1, Kodai in P2, Kodoi it's actually, and then typical Jimmy in P3 representing the Alpine team. Jimmy, I think he's one of the newer guys. I think he is. No, he's actually not one of the newer guys. Is he filling in for... Is he a Division 1 or a Division 2? Oh, he was a reserve. So he was a reserve, but not anymore. So we're going to be switching over to the race results, which will be on your screen pretty soon. Let me pop them up real quick. There we go. As I think they should update I'm not 100% sure, guys. I'm still trying to figure this out. But I think they should be updating whenever there's a new session going on, but I could be wrong. I have no idea, actually. Doesn't really matter. But I've got some cool things at the bottom of the screen, which I will be able to explain to you guys. I think someone already up, didn't they? Because otherwise we wouldn't be able to see all this. So, on the bottom of your screen, you will be able to see this this rectangle, the whole stream. And this will give you information on how far the driver is from the guy ahead of him, how far he is from the guy behind him, how many more laps it will take for him to get overtaken or overtake the guy in front of him. Tires, you've got chasing, you've got the speed difference and all that kind of stuff. You've got the fastest lap, all that kind of stuff. It's really fun, actually, if you think about it. So we're just gonna leave it on this for now, and then later during the live stream we will be using it to measure how far we are from the other guys, of course. Just gonna double check the chat here real quick. Alright, so everyone can ready up apparently. So we're going to be going pretty soon. Do we have a formation lap? That is a good question. I haven't been here for a long time. My last stream was actually the last race of last season. And we have then taken a 2 or 3 week break. And then I haven't commentated for 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been more than a month for me since I've commentated for you guys. And I don't remember what the actual settings are about. So let's hope we're going to have a formation lap, because then we will be able to check out everyone's tires. And we do indeed have a formation lap. So here we go. We need to remove everything that's there. Tire-wise, we are looking at a medium tires for Ziad, soft tires for Kodoi, typical Jimmy on the medium tires. Kev the Sly is also on the medium tires. Bobo on the medium tires. We've got Jay Dennis on the medium tires. Lower Richie on the medium tires. And then we've got 3 drivers on the soft tires. King Papa, Jabiza, and DJ Lawson. Super Sean on the medium tires. Mohamed on the softs. Also Thomas being on the soft tires. We've got the Bartofor being on the medium tires. Divine Eye on the hards, Ishi on the medium tires, and then the bottom 3 drivers being Brass Monkeys, Redites, and Expedito starting on the soft tires. Strategy-wise, we are probably looking at either a medium soft or a soft medium strategy, or a soft hard, or a hard soft, but nobody is on the hards except for Divine, or medium hards, or medium softs. I have no idea, actually. We'll see what these guys are going to be cooking. Apparently, August in the chat was cooking indeed. A Ziad being the Mercedes driver currently in P1. As everyone is warming up their tires. That's why everyone is weaving all over the place. If you guys don't have too much F1 knowledge, make sure you know this. The guys who are currently on track and are weaving all over the place, they are trying to warm up their tires. I'm just going to unplug my microphone real quick. So we're back at it again. Everyone is going to try and put themselves on the track. Why is it even doing that? I don't understand. Hold up. Let me just double check, guys. Alright. We should be good to go, I guess. No, we shouldn't be. Why is it even doing that? I have no idea. Oh, come on. I can't even hear the stream. This is bullshit. We've got 5 red lights here in Bahrain. And off we go. Expedito already with a drive-through penalty. And it will be Ziad starting in P1. Oh, this is ass. Oh my god. All right, here we go. See it side by side with a typical Jimmy at the moment, as it seems like Kodo has taken the lead of the race, but not a surprise as he's starting on the soft tires. Oh, and there goes typical Jimmy down the inside of the Mercedes driver. Not much room given, but just enough as the Ferrari driver goes off track there. That was a lower Richie. Ziad going down the inside into turn 9, maybe a switchback from typical Jimmy, and yes indeed they're going side by side now down that second main straight. Typical Jimmy going back into the slipstream of Ziad there, as it seems like a couple of guys in midfield have changed positions as well. Ziad still holding up strong, has lost a couple of tenths to the Red Bull driver currently in P1. Typical Jimmy still sticking to the toe of the Mercedes driver at the moment. Here comes typical Jimmy. Oh, and a warning for corner cutting for Super Sean. That was his first warning, as he's right behind Kev the Slice at the moment. Let us double check on where he is at the moment. There we go. Kodoy with the fastest lap of 134.6. Oh, apologies. Let's go here in the midfield. We've got typical Jimmy side by side with Bobo. Bobo, who's taking P3 from the Alpine driver there, as typical Jimmy and Jay Dennis are now right behind each other. And I'm really wondering who's going to take the lead of the race here, because Jay Dennis is probably up for a driver championship contention. Typical Jimmy not necessarily, but his points of a reserve will be brought over to the actual well, drivers championship, so he should be up the top there as well, together with Ziad probably. Fastest lap goes to Kodoy for now. Might want to go on board with typical Jimmy here. At the back of the field we are seeing Biza in P14, trying to make an overtake on Ishii here, as it seems like he started on P9, dropped all the way to P14. He might have lost a couple of positions. This is going down the inside in turn 11, not something we've seen many times before, but Ishii retakes the position, as usually in turn 12 you don't want to be down the inside because you won't have a good exit coming out of that corner, and that is exactly what Ishii saw. Fastest lap goes to Kodoy there, a 132.3. Let's go on board with the guys at the front of the field. See, it's still holding up strong, trying to keep that position from Bobo, because Bobo, he's a hungry lion. We all know that, you know, he's the drivers champion of last season, and Kev the Slice, who came like, he was really close, guys. It was a really close battle between the both of them. Bobo ran away with the drivers championship, but I know for a fact that Kev the Slice wants redemption. And as things are looking like right now, it doesn't look very great for Kev the Slice, as he's currently in P7. Ziad, who started in P1, dropped to P2, as we might want to go on board with Bobo. He started in P5, gained 2 positions underway, as he probably made an overtake on typical Jimmy and Jay Dennis. So just gonna go back to the live stream. I think everything should be fixed. Everything is not fixed. Okay, great. I guess I'll have to keep it on this then. Lower Richie currently in P6. Gained a position underway, which is not bad at all, as he's now catching the slipstream of Jay Dennis. Kodoy with another fastest lap, being on those soft tires, is really giving him an advantage here in Bahrain. But he's not actually gaining too much time on Ziad. So as soon as Ziad is switching over to some fresh tires, he's going to have the upper hand. If we want to compare Olauerichi with Kev the Slice, we might want to compare their straight line speed down the straights, which will be for later. Apparently Olauerichi is slower than Jay Dennis here in Bahrain. It's a battle for fifth at the moment between the Ferrari driver and the Alpine driver. Jay Dennis was teammates with Olauerichi actually last season. And it's quite funny that they have to battle each other now for those constructor points, but also the Drivers' Championship points. As Jay Dennis is taking the upper hand, and I think that is something we've seen last season as well, where Jay Dennis was a little bit faster than Olauerichi in some cases, but right now Olauerichi is your Drivers' Championship, well, provisional Drivers' Championship as a Drivers' Champion, as I said before. Ziad is actually catching up to Kodoy, which is not great news. So that means that those soft tires are dropping off after about 4 or 5 laps on them. Olauerichi still in P6 as he's able to use DRS. Going into turn 1, hard braking zone. Has to watch out that he doesn't go into the back of Jay Dennis at the moment. What is Mohamed doing? King Papa trying to keep that P9 from the Red Bull driver, as both drivers are running soft tires at the moment. Apparently there's a 1 lap striking distance between King Papa and Mohamed. And apparently G Biza is also slower than Mohamed, so he shouldn't be worried. The Bartolfo with his first warning of the evening. And that is something we see very often here around Bahrain. Track limits are very difficult to cope with. So most of the guys are currently, well, trying to keep it within the limits, but it's not always as easy as it sounds. You know, you're coming out of turn 10, for example. You're braking a little bit too late, as the Haas driver is doing right there. Almost a track limit for Brass Monkeys. And there goes Expedito with a corner cutting warning. Mohamed, who's not able to find his way around King Papa at the moment. Olauerichi is on the tail of Jay Dennis. And that will be a possible overtake down the straight. But luckily for Jay Dennis, he's got his teammate right in front of him. So he's able to grab the DRS and the ERS from a typical Jimmy, of course. Here comes Olauerichi. We might want to go on board with the Ferrari driver at the moment. Here he comes down the straight. Will he be going down the inside? Doesn't look like it, but Jay Dennis might go down the inside of his own teammate. It's a once again battle between teammates. We saw it between Olauerichi and Jay Dennis last season, and Jay Dennis is now the one making it difficult for his own teammate. Typical Jimmy, losing 2 positions in 2 corners. Olauerichi now going down the inside in turn 4. They're going side by side. Will it be Jay Dennis? Yes, it will be Jay Dennis. Olauerichi backing out before entering turn 6. It's not suggested to go side by side into the S's. And that is exactly what Olauerichi knew. And coming out of turn 8, he had a pretty decent exit there. I think he would have been able to make the overtake on Jay Dennis, but it's a tricky corner coming up ahead. And he's right on the tail of Jay Dennis. Look at that. His personal best is 132.7. Expedito with a second corner cut warning. And that is some information we didn't have with the normal overlay. So that is actually very useful. DJ Lawson with the first corner warning. And now Olauerichi. Ziad seems to be overtaken by a Bobo. And that was probably due to the DRS down the straight in Sector 1. But now it's Ziad's turn, and the more these two are battling, the further Kodai is going to run away. Ziad's time, well, best time is a 32.3. And here he comes down the straight, overtaking the Williams driver. Bobo, nothing he can do as he doesn't have the DRS. Some beautiful racing between these two, keeping it respectful as well. And it seems like the top 6 is running away at the moment. Super Sean finally made the overtake on Kev the Slice, though, which isn't bad at all. Kev the Slice trying to go around the outside, has the DRS, but not enough time. Might make a switchback work. No, it won't be this time around for the Alfa Romeo driver. And let us just check on a Bobo here in P3. as he's losing a bit of time to Ziad. Ziad really pushing, trying to get back to Kodoy there, as the Red Bull driver is up for a race win, but he needs to keep it consistent. Let us double check on whether he has a better striking distance or not. Here we go. So apparently Ziad is slower than Kodoy in the last lap. Jay Dennis with his first corner cutting warning. Olawa Richie is really on the tail of Jay Dennis there. Both the Alpine drivers trying to make it difficult for Olawa Richie. And this is something we've seen last season as well. When you're finding yourself within a sandwich, it's always more difficult to crawl your way out of it, because there's someone right behind you who you need to worry about. And there's also someone right in front of you. Jay Dennis being the first driver coming into the pits. And here will come typical Jimmy down the inside into turn 1, backs out of it again. I think he knew better, because he will have the DRS again down the straight here coming out of turn 3. But he's a bit too far off, I would say. It's not a very long DRS straight. Typical Jimmy will go for it anyway, but he backs out of it again onto the racing line. And that is something that I like about typical Jimmy, if I'm being honest. You know, he's a clean driver, and he's been doing great at the moment. He's keeping it clean. He's got the pace. He's just a very careful driver. Doesn't make any dive bombs down the inside. The back of the grid, it seems like the Bartol 4 had a little bit of an issue with some other drivers. Or did he start on the soft tires? That could be a potential thing as well, as he's currently on the hard tires. And I don't think anyone started on the hards except for Divine Eye, as Jay Dennis seems to be right on the tail of Divine Eye. There is the better exit coming out of turn 10. Divine Eye isn't going to make it too difficult for Jay Dennis to get past. The is wide open for Jay Dennis as he's going down the inside. Beautiful overtake by Jay Dennis. Not too much resistance from Divine Eye there. And here comes King Papa down the inside of Mohamed. Oh, and he has a bad exit. He has a bad exit, and I think Mohamed... Oh, both drivers coming into the pits right now. What tire will they be going on? That is to be announced pretty soon. I think they should be going on to the hard tires. The medium tires won't be lasting for 20 more laps. Oh, apparently King Papa is going on to the medium tires indeed. A yellow flag was there, but the green flags have been released already. Super Sean in P6 as he's trying to find his way around Kev the Slice. Let me just double check where Super Sean started. He started in P11. Currently in P6. A couple of guys in front of him have pitted already, including Bobo, Jay Dennis. Both drivers going onto the hard tires. And also DJ Lawson, Jabiza. I don't think Jabiza and DJ Lawson actually started in front of. Although, I think they started around P8, P9. They're currently in P12 and P14. So that means they came into the pits and went onto the mediums and the hard tires. Super Sean trying to find his way around Kev the Slice, but we've seen it from last season. Kev the Slice is someone who you cannot mess around with. He will defend aggressively. You know, with saying aggressively, I'm not meaning that he's gonna ram you off track, but he's not afraid of keeping you behind himself. The way he does that is going into the corner, he dares to brake a little bit later, trying to force you a little bit wider, not on the exit, but on the entry of the corner. And that is something I admire about Kev the Slice. He's not giving up a position for free. Here comes Super Sean. Down the inside he goes. What will Kev the Slice be doing? Maybe a switchback, as that will be definitely doable here in turn 2 and turn 3 of Bahrain. A good exit from the Alfa Romeo driver. DRS wide open for Kev the Slice. Down the inside he goes. What will Kev the Slice be doing? And he makes the overtake in turn 4. Beautiful overtake by the Kick Sauber driver. I'm saying Alfa Romeo the whole time already, but it's actually Kick Sauber. And Super Sean trying to find his way around Kev the Slice there in turn 6 and 7. But as said before, not a great way or not a good section to make an overtake in. Let us just look at readouts here with a surprising P6. Look at that. He did start on the soft tires. Hasn't come into the pits yet, as whether Jay Dennis right behind him. Oh, what a move into turn 8. No fear for the Alpine driver. He needed to get past that Haas driver as soon as possible, and he made it within one corner. Beautiful overtake from Jay Dennis. He's got those iron balls, which I usually talk about when someone makes a great overtake. And now he has to make that overtake on Bobo, as Bobo is currently in a strong contention with both Jay Dennis and Olawa Richie. Now Olawa Richie is stuck behind Redoubts. Look at that. Down the inside it goes. Really aggressive move from Olawa Richie. Takes a lot of curb and gets a corner cutting warning right there. He's got 2 already, so he possibly will get a penalty pretty soon. As I'm just aware that it doesn't show the penalties, so we won't be able to see those penalties during the race. I might need to do something about that. I'm gonna think how I can fix that. Here comes Super Sean. Down the inside he goes. DRS wide open again into turn 4. And King Papa seems to have the fastest lap at the moment. Kev the Slice. Will it be a switchback? Yes, indeed, it will be a switchback. Look at that coming out of turn 5. Not always an easy move to be done. But Kev the Slice is no amateur. He's done it right there. Medium tires don't seem to be too bad at all either. You're not really losing too much time to Bobo at the moment, as Bobo is indeed in a heavy battle with Jay Dennis and Olawa Richie. The top 3 in the Drivers' Championship currently in P5, 6, and 7. And that is great for Ziad. He wasn't there last race. He got the race win and the sprint race win in España, being the first race of this season. So he dropped a couple of positions after that first race because he scored 0 points last race. But now trying to get back up with the top guys. Bobo, Jay Dennis, and Olawa Richie. First corner cutting warning for Brass Monkeys right there. So I don't think any of the top 5 has a penalty yet. Neither does Jay Dennis or Olawa Richie, if I'm not mistaken. But they are on the hard tires, and usually on the hard tires you're more likely to get a penalty because you have less grip on the track. You're sometimes going a little bit deeper into the corner than you hope to go. Let us go on board with Mohamed here. This is right on the tail of JD Lawson. Mohamed, I wouldn't say he's not consistent, but starting in P12, finishing in P12, well, now in P12, is not really that great, I would say. He goes around the outside to make an overtake on the McLaren driver. Beautifully done with the use of DRS, and now he finds himself within a sandwich. A McLaren sandwich is not somewhere you want to be in. King Papa's still having that fastest lap at the moment. Oh, there goes the pizza trying to go down the inside. It was actually JD Lawson. DJ Lawson, my apologies. G Dennis, and then you've got DJ Lawson. It's a little bit confusing. Oh, it seems like DJ Lawson is lagging a little bit there. Let us go on board with the guys at the back of the grid here, as it seems like Ishii finds himself in a sandwich with the Haas drivers, Redoubts and Brass Monkeys. Usually 2 guys who played really tricky, I would say. Being in the middle of them, it's not a gift. It's definitely not a gift because, I mean, Brass Monkeys will really slow you down to give that opportunity to Redoubts to get back. And once you're within that loophole, you're never getting out of it again. Redoubts making the overtake on both Brass Monkeys and Ishii, and then the story continues and it repeats himself. Now Ishii trying to go down the inside there. Beautiful overtake on Brass Monkeys. They're still going side by side, but he has the inside line, so he makes that overtake coming out of turn 11. And this is how you break the cycle. Oh, but Brass Monkeys tries to go down the inside, doesn't make it. This is really how you break the cycle. You don't want to find yourself sticking within that within that middle. You know, you've got Brass Monkeys just being overtaken by Ishii trying to run away, which is great, because otherwise Redice is going to make the overtake, Brass Monkeys behind you, and then it's just a repeating cycle, as I said before. The guys at the top of the grid are having a heated battle as well. My apologies for missing that. Olawa Richie currently in P2. He's made the overtake on Jay Dennis and Bobo, but it's still a heated battle between the both of them. Down the straight they go. DRS wide open for Jay Dennis. So he'll have the opportunity to make the overtake later than the start-finish straight. King Papa still with the fastest lap at the moment. Oh, and a 3-second time penalty for Kodo. That is something we have to keep in mind. He's coming into the pits at the moment. So was that a 5-second time penalty maybe for speeding in the pit lane? That could be it. Now Olawa, Richie, Jay, Dennis, and Bobo will make the overtake. Typical Jimmy trying to find his way back into the top 4. And will it be Jay Dennis down the inside? It won't be Jay Dennis down the inside. He also had to defend the inside line from Bobo there, as all 3 drivers are close behind each other. You have the slice also on the tail of Mohamed there. Down the inside he goes. Mohamed possibly with a switchback. Doesn't look like it, although he's going to have to DRS, so he might possibly make the overtake. DRS wide open for the Red Bull driver. Will he stick it down the inside? Doesn't look like it. Kev the slice defends the inside line. Beautifully done by the Kick Sauber driver. Mohamed is not giving up. 2 tenths behind Kev the slice. And the problem here around Bahrain is that you have a lot of downforce issues. Well, not necessarily downforce issues, but you've got a lot of dirty air, which makes you very understeery, which is obviously not great. I'm just going to try something out, guys. It could cause the stream to lag a little bit, so my apologies for that. I just noticed that there's something wrong with the info messages, so I'm just going to restart them again. Oh no, apparently there isn't anything with... well, it doesn't matter. Here we go. Let's go back to the top 3. Jay Dennis making the overtake down the inside of Olawa Richie. Olawa Richie breaking really late. Side by side they go into turn 1. Jay Dennis with the DRS coming out of turn 3. And will this be an opportunity for Bobo to make the overtake? Doesn't look like it. Here comes Jay Dennis. But it's not enough. That corner, well, that straight is just too short to be able to make an overtake work. And now Bobo is sticking to the toe of Jay Dennis. These 3 are making it real spectacular. But another teammate of Jay Dennis finds himself within this top 5. And also Ziad has caught up. Or isn't that Ziad? It is indeed Ziad in that Mercedes car. The top 5 now forming a very strong group. Seems like Kodoy has gone onto the hard tires, which is a surprising result because he started... Oh no, he started on the soft tires. Never mind. He's actually looking very decent here. If these 5 are going to be having a heated battle with each other, he's going to have faster tires at the end of the race. And then it should be good to make the overtake on all 5 of them when some of them make a mistake. Down the straight they go. 5 drivers battling for the race win. Who will bring it home? Seems like the Alpine driver there trying to make a move down the inside. Typical Jimmy on Ziad. No, it's Ziad making the overtake on typical Jimmy. My apologies, guys. I didn't see that coming from the Mercedes driver. Also, Laura Ricci and Jay Dennis are having a heated battle. Jay Dennis keeping P1 there from the Ferrari driver. Now, Laura Ricci with the DRS, obviously, trying to go around the outside into turn 4. Oh, and it's the British driver. Oh, clinching wheels with Olawa Richie. There's chaos here in Bahrain as Olawa Richie loses 4 positions during his battle with Jay Dennis. And Jay Dennis keeps P2 right there. See, had made the overtake on typical Jimmy before. And now his next target is going to be Jay Dennis. These guys are really making a spectacular race here in Bahrain, but as they're battling with each other and really losing time, Kodo is getting closer and closer And the longer this race takes, I mean, the further into the race, the harder it will get for them to keep that Red Bull driver behind them. And also King Papa is currently on the medium tires in P7. So it will be a hard challenge for those guys as well to keep King Papa behind them. Here they go, down the straight. Bobo trying to run away, but it's Jay Dennis making the overtake down the inside. Bobo who doesn't have... No, it's around the outside. Bobo down the inside. Oh, and it's Jay Dennis running away with that race lead. But Bobo has the DRS, obviously, coming out of turn 3. And now he will go... No, he will back out of it. Just didn't have a great exit coming out of turn 3. Ziad, possibly. These three trying to break loose from typical Jimmy and Olawa Richie, which wouldn't be bad for the three of them, because Olawa Richie, driver's champion, well, the driver's championship leader in P5, it's not going to give great points for the Olawa Richie. He definitely wants more, and that typical Jimmy, that Alpine's teammate from Jay Dennis, is really doing wonders at the moment, because here's the thing. Al Shakal, he was up there. I'm not going to say he wasn't up there, but I feel like typical Jimmy is more of a reliability, if that makes sense. He's more consistent from what I've seen at the moment. He's making it difficult for Jay Dennis's competition. And that is what you want as a second driver. I'm not sure if there's any orders given by who is going to be first driver, second driver. I don't really mind about it either. If there's no team orders, you know, it doesn't really matter. Here comes Bobo down the inside. Jay Dennis is going to give up the position. He's going to try and have a better exit to have the DRS overtake down the straight. Still having the inside line. Ziad might possibly benefit from that. 3 wide they go. Ziad down the inside. It's Jay Dennis around the outside. Who will take P1? It will be Bobo. No, it's Jay Dennis around the outside. And usually in turn 4, you do indeed want to be in, well, around the outside, because that is going to give you a better exit coming out of that corner. And then you will be having the outside line in turn 6 or 5, however you call it. Here comes typical Jimmy, side by side. Who will back out of it? It will be typical Jimmy. Look at that. That is the type of driver you want to drive against. Doesn't make any great risks. He just drives and he sees what's going to happen. You know, it doesn't really matter. Olawa Richie trying to make a tricky move there into turn 10. And I feel like he's a little bit stuck. Olawa Richie is not getting past typical Jimmy. Typical Jimmy is not getting past Ziad. Ziad is trying to make it very difficult for Bobo and Jay Dennis at the moment. So that is something that is not known yet who's going to win this race. So it could be any of these 5. Any of these 6, actually. Because Kodo is actually... Yeah, he's really catching up at the moment. Down the straight they go. Will it be another masterpiece of Ziad coming out of turn 3? He will patiently wait. He's the only one who doesn't have any ERS left here in this top 5. Bobo now down the inside. He's gonna back out of it. And these guys notice that coming out of turn 3, you really have a great shot at making the overtake. Fastest lap goes to Kev the Slice. Look at that. Kev the Slice trying to get back to these guys at the moment. Down the straight they go. A Bobo not giving up. Ziad on the tail of the Dutch driver. Down the inside he goes. What a move from Ziad. What a move from Ziad. Nothing we've seen like that before. As he's having the outside line at the moment. Who will give up? Oh, nobody will back out. Oh, and there's damage. I saw front wing. I think that must have been Jay Dennis's front wing, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's not Jay Dennis's front wing. It's Bobo who has front wing damage. Will that be a yellow flag? Possibly. But not quite there yet. Bobo, who will have to come into the pits because he's going to lose time at the moment. He started in P5. He had a great race so far, but unfortunately made contact with either Jay Dennis or Ziad. And that's going to cause him to drop a lot of positions when he comes into the pits. Let me just double check with Olawa Richie here. Started in P7. Not a great quali guy, but definitely a good race guy. Kodoy caught up to the guys. 10 laps left here in Bahrain at the moment. Jay Dennis getting overtaken by Ziad there. Oh, Ziad keeping the position. Beautifully done. As it will be Jay Dennis around the outside. No, he's choosing the inside line. Where is he going? Down the inside. Wait, I have to sneeze. Oh, the sneeze is gone. Oh, and they're still going side by side. Ziad around the outside. Doesn't make the overtake. Well, he does make the overtake. He keeps the position. I was meant to say Jay Dennis doesn't make the overtake, and he doesn't indeed. He's got his teammate right behind him right now. And I feel like typical Jimmy is faster at this point of the race. He's a little bit faster. He started in P3, currently still in P3. His fastest lap is a 132.5 on the medium tires. He's currently on those hards, of course. Let us just double check what the straight line speed is between these two. Well, Laura Ritchie and typical Jimmy. As it seems like Kodoy has made the overtake on Bobo. Around the outside he goes. Bobo not giving up. But he's got a broken front wing. Nothing he can do about that. But I think he will even lose more time if he comes into the pits. So not a bad decision for staying into the out of the pits, actually. Is he going to try and make the overtake on the American driver as well? Kodoy, I think he is an American driver, but I could be wrong. I'm just going to blow my nose here real quick, guys. Here comes Bobo. Here comes Bobo. Fearless Bobo down the inside. Oh, and he almost takes out everyone. Oh. He crashes himself out, and I think that is indeed a safety car. So we will be having a safety car situation. I have no idea what Bobo did right there, but it definitely wasn't great. And here we go. So a lot of guys coming into the pits at the moment. Hello, by the way, guys. This is me. I'm Thomas. I'm the commentator. So let us just double check what tire everyone is going on. There we go. It appears like there's not going to be any rain here in Bahrain. Obviously. Tire-wise, you can see the tires and the length of how far they are going. The soft tires taking about 9 to 11 laps. So I think your best shot is to go onto the soft tires at the moment. Maybe if you want to make the overtake at the rear, at the end of the race, you might want to give the medium tires a shot. But it doesn't look like any of the guys in the top 5 are coming into the pits. Or did they already pass that pit entry? I think they did. So they'll have to wait to come across the line. Well, to come into the pits. There's actually 15 turns here around Bahrain. I thought I said 14 before. So I could have been wrong with that. Top speed is 313 kilometers an hour. And the downforce is very high. Like I said before, there's a lot of straight line speeds. Well, straight lines here. In Bahrain, you've got that straight line coming out of the last corner. You've got that straight line coming out of turn 3. You've got that straight line coming out of turn 13, which is also a very good overtaking opportunity if you have the ERS. Tire wear is also high. I wouldn't agree too much with that. I didn't make that overlay, but I think the tire wear could be a little bit worse than high. Well, better than high. I don't think it's that bad here around Bahrain, but it doesn't really matter too much. Let us just double check on who has gone onto which tires. Apparently Ziad has gone onto the soft tires, Jay Dennis onto the soft tires, Jabiza onto the soft tires. Then we've got typical Jimmy on the medium tires, and Laura Ritchie has gone onto the soft tires. There's only a couple of drivers who have gone onto medium tires, being Kodoy and typical Jimmy. So they've listened to the live stream. I think the softs might have been a better shot. But Kodoy was actually losing a bit of time on the soft tires after 4 laps. So maybe the medium tires wouldn't have been a bad decision. But when you started onto the soft tires, it wouldn't be great going onto another set of soft tires, because if there's another safety car, you wouldn't go onto another set of soft tires. You won't be able to. Fastest lap still goes to Kev the Slice. Ziad personal best is 132. Let me just double check what Kev the Slice best time is. 131.7. So I don't think anyone will be able to compete with that, I'm afraid. And the safety car off today is going to be a Mercedes car. Sometimes we have a Aston Martin car as well. Just gonna double check if it still records my... what happened? What do you mean, Lewis? Oh, you mean the safety car? I think Bobo crashed himself out, but I couldn't tell you for sure. He just... I don't know what happened there. I think he just lost his braking point and then didn't want to go into anybody and then just crashed into the wall. I don't know. I'm not for sure, actually. We're not going to be racing yet, so we're just going to have a little bit of a break here. And I'm going to take a quick drink and check my phone. Alrighty, I think we should be good to go as all the drivers have caught up to the safety car again. Oh wait, I'm gonna do something real quick. Can I do this and then this? I can't. Why is that? I don't know. Oh no, I can't. Oh, strange. Alright. There we go. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Boogity, boogity, boogity. We've got green flags pretty soon. As I'm gonna switch over to the race overlay, of course. And Jay Dennis is already going underway. No, it's Jabiza. No, it's Ziad. Leading your way to victory. Jay Dennis in P2 and Jabiza in P3. It seems like typical Jimmy is trying to find his way around. The McLaren driver already there in P3. Jabiza being on the soft tires. Oh, there goes typical Jimmy down the inside into turn 4. Good overtake opportunity, but Jabiza keeps the position. Laura Ritchie trying to find his way around typical Jimmy. And I think those medium tires are not going to be beneficial at this point during the race. But he just has to hold up strong, I think is the word I'm looking for. He has to hold up strong. Making sure that, you know, he's going to make it till the end of the race. And there's Carnage at the back of the grid. I saw a couple of tires flying front wings flying all over the place. If the slice got up to Olawa Ritchie right there. Let us go on board with Olawa Ritchie. Will he be going down the inside? Doesn't look like it. Talk with a 3-second time penalty for cutting the corners. There's 5 more laps to go here in Bahrain. And Laura Ritchie has a great shot at a top 3. Just needs to make the overtake on the typical Jimmy and Jabiza. Jabiza with a surprising P3 if I'm being honest. Here comes Ziad with the fastest lap of 130.5 so far. 5 more laps to go here around Bahrain. Laura Ritchie has to watch out for that braking point. We've seen that a couple of times with the Ferrari driver. Braking a little bit later than the rest of the guys, but almost getting into the back of the guy in front of him. There's 2 typical Jimmy. And it happened once again. He just brakes a little bit later. I think that's a strength though, but he has to watch out that he doesn't go into the back of anyone. I haven't seen it happen before. Mohamed having 5 warnings already. Oh, and a VSC has been deployed. Not sure what is happening here. Who crashed out? Who is causing a virtual safety car? I couldn't tell you for sure, but there's a big gap between a P8 and P7. That is King Papa and Ishi. And also a very big gap between DJ Lawson and Talk. No, Ishi and DJ Lawson, I was meaning to say. Oh, did I drop out again? No, I did not drop out again. It's a green flag and go. Mohamed has left the session. That is what I meant to say. DJ Lawson also crashed out. Apparently DJ Lawson and Mohamed crashed into each other. That is not great. Test. Okay. I'm back at it again, guys. Another virtual safety car. And Sir Villiers, I will not be commentating Div 1 again. I don't think I ever commentated Div 1, if I'm being honest. That was the other guy. That was Wops. Sir Villiers. And the virtual safety car is ending. So here we go. Oh, and it is typical Jimmy going into the back of Jabiza. He now makes the overtake on the McLaren driver there, though. But he might have a little bit of front wing damage. Ziad still leading the race. It will be a two-way battle between Jay Dennis and Ziad. And who will be running away with that race win? Will it be Ziad for the second time this season? Or will it be Jay Dennis with his first race win of the season? If I'm not mistaken, though, I could be wrong. No, I think I'm not mistaken. I think it would be his first one. Here comes Jay Dennis down the straight. DRS has not been enabled yet, as they first need to finish 2 laps after the safety car, but he goes down the inside anyways. Backs out of it. Laura Ritchie makes the overtake. Also Kev the Slice going down the inside of Jabiza there. Typical Jimmy losing 2 positions, but he gets back up into P5, making the overtake on Jabiza. And this is where those medium tires are coming in strong. Going deeper into the race. The tire wear of the soft tires is going down rapidly. And then, of course, you've got the medium tire runners who are going to be happy with all that. But we have to keep in mind there's a couple of guys who've got a penalty. That is something that doesn't get shown on the left side. Maybe I need to put a suggestion in to get that done, because obviously I can't see what the fuck is happening there with the penalties. 3 more laps to go. Ziad and Jay Dennis still close behind each other. Let me just double check. Jay Dennis having a good comeback race. Actually, didn't qualify very well. Starting in P6. 6. Currently in P2. And he needs to play this very strong. He also needs to play it very smart. Because if he makes an overtake right now, Ziad will be able to make the overtake down the straight at the last lap, which isn't great. Jay Dennis is going for it anyway. Deer is wide open. Oh, and he makes the overtake. Side by side they go, but he leaves that position to Ziad again. He's playing it smart. As I said before, he's playing it smart. He might have known that Ziad was going to try and keep that position. Jay Dennis down the inside. The English driver is not giving up, and he takes the lead of the race. What will Ziad do about that? Oh, almost makes the overtake, but... Ah, man, this is some really heavy battling between the both of them. And in the meanwhile, Olawa Richie and Kev the Slice are getting closer and closer, so it will be a full-way battle between the two of them. Well, between the four of them. Oh, here comes Kev the Slice. This is really tricky and not much room given by Olawa Richie. Kind of pushes Kev the Slice off track there. Not typical Jimmy runs away with that P4. Going into the last lap is Jay Dennis and Ziad. It's a very close battle in the Drivers' Championship, but also the Constructors' Championship is nowhere from being decided. And neither is the Driver Championship at the moment. Olawa Richie is not going to keep his P1 in the Drivers' Championship. I know that for sure, because it's either going to be Ziad or Jay Dennis running away with that spot. Down the straight they go. What will Ziad be doing? Here he comes around the outside, goes onto the grass to make the overtake. Jay Dennis now has to be lucky with the exit coming out of turn 3. Oh, and the guys there at the back of the grid are forcing each other off track. It's typical Jimmy, who seems to be a little bit impatient. That is not something we've seen from him before. Kev the Slice down the inside of Olawa Richie, and also Jabiza forcing his way into the top 5, but it seems like he got overtaken by Olawa Richie again. Typical Jimmy and Kev the Slice trying to battle it out for P3. For that podium position, Jabiza with a 2-second time penalty. And I'm really wondering who has a penalty out of these guys. Let us double check at the end of the race, because it could be that these positions are still going to be switching. But then it's also a surprise for you guys. There goes Olawa Richie sliding coming out of turn 10. Oh man, Olawa Richie is really on the edge of crashing out, man. He's really impatient. I love that about him, but it's just a little bit risky at this point during the race. Here he comes into turn 12. Let us just double check on Jay Dennis. He's not gonna get the race win here, I'm afraid. Ziad coming across the last corner here in Bahrain, as he will take the race win for the Mercedes team, who will bring it home. Jay Dennis coming into P2 and Kev the Slice coming into P3. Ziad even got the fastest lap there. Typical Jimmy in P4, Olawa Richie in P5, King Papa in P6, Jabiza in P7, Super Sean in P8, the Bartolfo in P9, Kodai in P10, as Ishii retakes P10 due to penalties of Kodai. Expedito in P12, but I think he's going to lose a couple of positions there, because he had a couple of penalties there. Brass Monkeys and Redouts take P12 and P13. And the only driver to still come across the line is Puck. He started in P13, finished in P15, but I've heard some complaints about him. So I'm not sure what's going to happen to that. But these are going to be your results around Bahrain. I'm just going to remove the tire life, the track map. Oh wait, I'm doing the wrong things. Race info messages, driver information, turn, live timing, and there we go. So these are going to be your results of the race. The podium will be for the Mercedes driver Ziad, Jay Dennis in P2 representing the Alpine team, and then a P3 goes to Kev the Slice for Kick Sauber. Ziad also runs away with the fastest lap of 1:30.1, which is 1:10 slower than Olawa Richie in P5. Jay Dennis in P2, Kev the Slice in P3, and typical Jimmy in P4. Olawa Richie runs away with P5, King Papa in P6, and Jabiza in P7. Further, we've got Super Sean, the Bartolfo, Ishii, Kodoi, Brass Monkeys, Redouts, Expedito, Tok, and then we've got our DNFs, Divine Eye, DJ Lawson, Mohamed, Mamdo, and a Bobo all the way B19. So that was going to be your Bahrain Grand Prix. My apologies for the inconvenience during the stream. It's the first time that I've been streaming since, I don't know, 6 weeks maybe. So it was all a bit new for me. The commentary wasn't also that great, so my apologies for that as well. Hopefully that will be a better next week, as I'm doing 5 days of commentary each week. So hopefully that should bring my commentary levels to another level. But all I want to do to you today is say thank you for being in the comments box with me. Well, for watching the live stream, of course. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching it. The overlays, they didn't run smooth. I do think I'm gonna keep them. It all depends on you did, August. You did call it. What happened? He pushed me next time to be ridiculous defending. You're gonna be out through my bed. So what was I saying again? Oh yeah, the overlays, they weren't great. They weren't bad either. It's a little bit, I don't know why, but my stream lags whenever I'm not looking at remote play. So I'm probably gonna have to fix that and open another tab of remote play. I have no idea. But hopefully that will be fixed next week. And guys, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I will see you guys next week. And this was VB Thomas as your commentator. Peace out.